Hi everybody, this is Valentina from The Real Italian Kitchen, and today I'm going to show you how to make my absolute favorite Tuscan soup, which is called Zuppa Frantoiana. Zuppa Frantoiana is characterized by 3 or 4 key ingredients, which are Italian kale, which in Italian is called cavolo nero, which I couldn't find for today, so I'm using regular kale. It's more or less the same taste, it's just that the Italian kale is way darker and the leaves aren't curly. And then I'm going to use a cabbage, some Parmigiano rind for extra fruit flavor in the broth, and cannellini beans. For the rest, everything that I have on my table here is organic and it comes from the farm share that I get every week. We're going to use some of this butternut squash, onion, some potatoes, carrots, of course some great olive oil. For today I'm using olio extravergine di oliva by Sabina, and it's DOP, meaning di origine protetta. Making soup is really simple, so I'm just going to start by peeling the potatoes and cutting them in cubes. So down the middle, and then I cut the slices. Align all the pieces. Really be fast about making little chunks. Peel the carrots. Then we wash them, and now we're going to cut them in chunks just like we did with the potatoes. We're going to use, let's try half of this beautiful onion. Throw everything in your pot. Let's add 3 tablespoons of olive oil in the pan. Turn the fire on high till it gets warm. And then once you start hearing that the onions are frying, we can turn it down. So this is to start cooking the ingredients that are the hardest to cook. The next is going to be the kale, because this usually also takes a long time to cook. We're going to take the stem off because that's a little bit hard, and we're going to cut it like with our hands. You don't need a knife to do this, and we're going to throw it in the mix. Keep adding ingredients based on looks. It's supposed to be a good blend of, and an equal blend of all these ingredients that we're using. I'm taking the bottom off and undressing the cabbage. Cut it in half. Yeah, let's use a half a cabbage. That gives it like the goodness, as my grandmother would say. Cut it in slices first. And then in more slices again, so that we get smaller pieces. Unfortunately, I have to sort of try and take the skin out. So I'm not strong and I sort of have to slam it on the table, and this is particularly big. There we go. I got it. I'm just gonna use the top because that's probably as much as I can take. I make smaller pieces of it so it's easier for me to cope. I'm starting from the top where I have already cut, and I'm cutting all the way to the bottom if I can. You want to make pieces that are not too small for the butternut squash, because these are going to cook much faster than everything else. At this point we're going to add the Parmigiano rind. We're going to cover all the ingredients with cold water. We're going to let it cook on high medium for about 20-25 minutes. And then we're going to try one of the vegetables and see how much longer it needs to cook. While my soup cooks, I'm going to finish cleaning up my remaining vegetables, and I'm going to put them in a clean plastic bag, and I'm going to freeze it. So next time, no prep work. When the soup is finally cooked, and remember the way you can tell is always by trying the carrot, because those are the longest one to cook, or the kale. Kale is also a very tough vegetable. So when those are cooked, it's time to add the beans. I rinsed them off under cold running water, and now I have my immersion blender right here, and I'm going to make a paste out of one can and leave the other can whole. Now we can add the whole beans and stir until the cream is completely absorbed by the water of the soup. Here we go. Now that the soup is ready, all the beans are blended in, it's time to serve it. Make sure not to serve the Parmigiano rind. And I usually do a scoop filled with vegetables and one that has more broth. And repeat. I hope you can see all the beautiful chunks of colorful pumpkin. This is a great winter soup, but if you substitute some of the ingredients with summer and spring favorites, you can also make it in the summer. And I'm serving it with some garlic bread. You can find the tutorial on how to do that here. And this is it. Thank you for following The Real Italian Kitchen. Please subscribe to my channel. Ciao ciao!